Thank you guys so much for tuning in the channel today. We're going to be building bag L of the Tekno SCT410 2.0. Maybe we can start by installing our servo horn. I'll probably just install it on this piece here and wait till I get my other electronics and everything hooked up to the receiver before I install the servo horn onto the servo. But to start with, we're going to be using this long set screw here. And it's going to thread into one of these pieces here. And I'll probably just do this by hand. This will be our servo arm here. Go about halfway, back that out just a hair, and then we're going to thread it by hand into the other side here, getting it nice and straight. Maybe look at our 1-to-1 in the book. Looks really good. Let's go ahead and install our balls in there. Install it on the other side. Try to even these up a little bit more. That looks really good. All right. Next, we're going to install it on this piece here, and it's going to get a washer. And maybe we'll go ahead and install our servo horn onto this. And it is going to get this TKR1327. It is the longer of the two screws that come in the bags. And it will go in the back side of that. It will go through this. And then we will get a washer. And it will get a nut on top of that. I'm going to thread that in. Already installed our washer there. This will go on top of that, like so, and it will get a nut. And be careful not to push that, set that screw back down. All right, that's good and tight. And like I said, I will wait to install this till I get my electronics so we can get it good and centered. But that'll be just fine for right now. All right, now that we have our servo arm and our servo horn installed, let's go ahead and install this plastic piece onto the chassis. This will get this Velcro strap right here. And what I kind of like to do maybe do this to make sure that we thread it the right direction here. So I'm going to go down. And then back through here. Here. And then back up. Should look like so with this side facing up. Go ahead and test that. Make sure that that will work with your battery. And now let's get this installed onto the aluminum chassis here. And I'm just going to take a little thread lock and put it down in these holes. Like so. I'm going to go ahead and take this servo wire and run it through this hole. I think that might be easier to install than trying to do it later. So we're doing that already. And I might go ahead and install these small screws here and here first. Might make this a little bit easier to hold in place. And they're going to get some thread lock as well. I'm just going to put that on the screw itself. Like so. And you don't have to tighten these all the way up. It might make it easier to get your other screws in. All right, we're getting there. I may undo this because we have to get to these locations there. And we already got thread locked down in our holes, so we won't have to worry about putting it on the screw. Just going to go ahead and I'm not going to tighten those all the way. I'm going to leave them loose. And then when I get them all installed, I will tighten them all the way. To make sure everything lines up a little bit better. Kind of have to push that battery strap out of the way. Now I'm going ahead and tighten these up. Now that we have our battery strap installed, you can see the servo wire is on this side of that and this side of that hole. And it will get these two pieces here to hold that down. And kind of the piece with the little notch on it is going to go right here to hold that in place. And the other one will go right there to hold that in place. Let's go ahead and get some screws here. It's going into plastic, so we shouldn't need any Loctite. And we may have to remove those when we get our motor in ESC. Get it ready to install. Let's go ahead and thread that on there. Should look like so. If your servo wire is not long enough, you may have to buy a servo extension to make sure that it's long enough. This screw right here is going to install from the bottom of the chassis. Like so. The 3 remaining screws here will go here, here, and here. And I may just partially thread those in. As we will be removing this to install our receiver and plug our motor and ESC into it. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Bag L of the new Tekno SCT410 2.0. Things to be mindful of are this battery strap. Be sure you install it before you put the battery strap holder onto the aluminum chassis. And make sure that it's the right way or you will have to take it off again. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.